We are connected. I wanted to come on and give you all some quick updates about some things we've been doing. Pardon my morning face. Um, it's early, but here we are. Um, Several weeks ago, during one of our Sunday services streaming online, the Collide Church, me, JT Hairston, we said that we wanted to be able to help a few families that were in need or just coming up a little bit short for Christmas. And a few of you agreed to, I'm having a hard time streaming my words today, agreed to partner with us to help, and people gave. And because people have been giving regularly, it had us in a position where we could help. I think it was somewhere between 3 and 5 families, right? Um, and I want to say this: thank you for everyone who's given. Thank you for your giving. Thank you for everyone who's going to continue to give. Um, because we should be able to help the community. Now, we're a new church. We're an online church. We never even met in person. We're small, and that's okay. I have no despise of the day of small beginnings, and that's the Bible. So no problems with that either. So, we weren't able to help 50, 100, or 5,000 families. No, we did what we could, and we met the need of who we could. We're not going to announce their names, and I'm just speaking for myself. If how other organizations and ministries, want to do and highly publicize um, what they do in their giving and all that, I get it. Not all the way quite my cup of tea. I see the one side, whereas church can get a lot of bad press, and we love to share the bad press. So I get it. Sometimes it's good to show the good of what a church is doing, right? But I also don't want to turn into that guy or to that church where every time I go to do something right, there has to be a camera on, there has to be a cell phone, there has to be something capturing the moment. Because again, we don't give. Do you want to give and be a blessing because you want to be seen giving and being a blessing, or do we give because it's the right thing to do? And I want to err on the side of just because it's the right thing to do. Um, Plus, I don't see too many moments where Jesus gathered a large audience to for them to see. Well, no, he did do that. I take that back. That did happen a number of times. It happened in the Old Testament too. But what stuck out to me the most, and I'm getting on a rabbit trail, is Jesus seemed to always tell people to don't say anything, but then they would go say something anyway. So maybe the best publicity, the best marketing is when you let people do it, right? I guess good meat makes its own gravy. At anyways, and that's no slant to anybody, but we're not always gonna have a camera going when we do something for someone, and we're not gonna name who it was either, or put them on film. Why? Because maybe they're an introvert, maybe they're not an extrovert, maybe they can't handle all these people in crowds, maybe they don't want to be put on the spot, maybe they're private, and I just never want to be the guy to have a camera in someone's face on maybe their worst day or their most tough season and say, look at what we did, how we helped you. Even the intention is great. Still leave people an ounce of dignity, because I'm sure most would rather be able to help themselves and not need to ask or be reached out to if they're struggling during the holidays. So having said that, all in all, we helped somewhere between I can't remember the number, 3 and 5 families. I think it was timely. They were appreciative, and it's because of your giving. So we want to keep doing that, and not just at Christmas, but throughout the whole year, right? Maybe we'll give it some order, give it some structure, but we want to do that and be able to help people, and that's pretty exciting. Um, and I think that's it. So if you ever think about us, hey, go to letscollide.org and click the give button. And yes, we're building so we can, when it's safe, COVID thing, I take it so seriously. We can meet in person one day and worship together. But it's funny that I'm eating my own words. I said long before I planted a church, I said I wanted to have a church and have an impact way before we started having in-person services. And that's it's funny. That's exactly what's happening. So we want to have more community impact and partnering with the community. What does Berea, Middleburg Heights, Strongsville, Brook Park, Cleveland's West Side, what do they need, right? So I'll be talking to the mayors of Brook Park, Middleburg Heights, perhaps Strongsville as well, to see what does your community need. Would love to do a food pantry, but maybe they don't need a food pantry. And Mayor Cleveland Berea, he told me we don't need another food pantry. We have one already. We need people to help do it. We need hands, feet, and legs. Or he said we need people to check on the elderly. That's a real part of ministry. Not always the most sexy part, because you can't bring a camera in there and say, hey, we visited these elderly people. But we do it because it's right. And we have an impact because it's right. So preferably, like any pastor, preacher, speaker, or lecturer, I'm probably speaking too much or said too much. So thank you for your giving. We helped people. We did it. We're now gearing up for the new year. And I'll close with this. A thought that's already been in my spirit and was, I guess, put into words by a good friend of mine, Bishop Joe V. Garnett in Wilmington, North Carolina. And he heard it from someone just this weekend. And I'm not, saying it exactly right, but I want to make sure I give credit before I start saying this and saying it repeatedly, right? So the original idea articulation is not mine, but good word is good word, and I'm going to run with it because it really resonated with me. And that is, what is next after the no? I think it's so good to me. What's next after the no? How do you navigate next after the no? What do you mean? I'll say this real quick and I'll be done. Kenneth Copeland said, COVID-19, I blow on you. We blow on you. COVID-19 is still here. I'm sure plenty of the saints, all of us, me included, prayed, rebuked, came against COVID-19. I rebuked this sickness. I cast you out. 9 months later, COVID's still here and still flexing its muscle. I know a lot of us have been praying about 2020, and unfortunately, people still passed away. COVID is still here, and even our commander-in-chief is still acting the way he acts. It would seem as though God is not answering our prayers. Or is it that God has said no to this prayer? And usually when we hear the word no, that makes us stop. It makes us halt. It ceases movement. But what if we learned how to navigate the no? And what if no doesn't mean stop? What if no doesn't mean be still? But what if no means try another direction? What if no means go another route? Remember, I think what shepherds or Joseph, one of the two, coming back from Egypt, and then the angel told them to go another route. So how do we move forward when God has said no? We've prayed, we've cried, we fasted, and COVID is still here, and would seem like we're in close reach of returning back to normal. Is even in a more farther reach. Even there's a vaccine, and we're skeptical of the vaccine even, and we'll deal with that too in the new year, right? On Martin Luther King Day, actually. Pastor, so I'll be messaging you all soon because I'm having the panel come back, doctors, nurses, people from Big Pharma, and we're going to talk about this because it adversely affects our community, peoples of color, but we have been abused the most by the American healthcare system. But now you're trying to tell me we can trust it? And I think we can, but we have to establish how. Why trust now? Like Dr. Shanina Knighton said, it's like the boy that cried wolf. he cried wolf, and now they're actually telling the truth. But we've been abused so bad, we don't want to, oh my goodness. So we deal with that. But you prayed, you cried, you believed. And the answer is no. The answer is no. Like Bishop Ellis said, the answer is no. I'll end with this. The preacher in me so desperately, and I've been saying this, I said it Sunday, I say it again, so desperately wants to say, 2021 will be your year. That 2021 will be a year like never before. That your best days and your blessed days are ahead of you. You are the head and not the tail, above, not beneath, huh? Go get it. It's yours. It's yours. It's yours. 2021. Blessed year. I speak blessing, prosperity. The preacher in me wants to say that. It really does. But the Son of God in me, the prophet in me, that's not what I see on the horizon. Yes, I believe 2021 will have plenty of good moments for a lot of people. But I don't see a night today instantly when it becomes January 1st. That's not what I see. That's not what's in my heart. I don't think that's what God is saying. We're still going to have COVID. It's still going to be social distancing. It's still going to be this new world that we're in now, right? Yes, there'll be some good moments, and individuals will have good moments. You know, if you work hard, you invent something, you're gonna get paid. Of course, I mean that's life. But just to irresponsibly say 2021 will be your year, it may or it may not, but it can always be your season if you are obedient to what God is saying, and if you love Him, love people, love justice, do justice, mercy, and walk humbly before Him. That ensures, at least biblically, and obedience, blessing way more than praises going up. I don't want to step on any toes, but that's just what it is. And God is exposing so many things. So those who are on the wall doing the good work, Pastor Fred Graves, Pastor Robert Campbell, I see a few, Pastor Clovis. It's not a good guys, but it's bad guys, but those with pure hearts who are on the wall doing the work of God, not for clout, but because He said so, because we love Him, is doing right. I believe God is going to raise us. And those who are struggling to walk in their call in a similar regard, I believe God is going to continue to rebuke and expose. Not that we want their demise or their downfall, but we do want God to clean them up, because there are souls, there are lives at stake. And we need as many people telling the truth as possible, not just a small handful. Okay, so thank you for your giving. Excited for the new year, how to navigate the next when God has said no. Thank you, Bishop Garnett. Thank you, that pastor from North Carolina who said that. And my friend, Bishop Garnett, heard that. Thank you so much. We're going to run with that. It's such a good word, such a wise word. So we're running with it. Love you guys. Lastly, go to letscollide.org if you want to give, because we're going to give it right back. And, try to be good kingdom investors. All right. Pardon my raspy voice and my heavy eyes and my unkempt hair, but have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Tuesday. And we'll talk to you guys soon. All right. Take care.